And with that, it's now time for us to dive in with our first keynote after Xaver kicked us off there so well. And our speaker used to be responsible for the development of new robot technologies in cooperation with international ABB development centers. And since 2009, he's responsible for strategic research and development at ABB AG in Friedberg, and also for local product management here in Germany, especially for automotive. So please put your hands together for the advisor for strategic research and development at ABB and representative of RoX Enabling AI Robotics, Dr. Bernd Kuhlenkötter. Welcome, Bernd.
Thanks a lot for the kind introduction. Yes, thanks. Thanks a lot for the kind introduction. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure for me to present the first keynote. And I have to do the same as you did with your Siemens hats. I have to take off my ABB hat and put it to your hats behind that wall. Because today I'm not presenting ABB, I'm presenting the RoX Consortium, which is working on creating a digital ecosystem for AI-based robotics. And that is what I want to talk about. And behind that idea, there is a huge consortium I will introduce later. And I will present the first year of innovations we are working on. So we started 1 year ago. We have 2 years to go. So I can present first results on our journey to the creation of a digital ecosystem for AI-based robotics. So that project has 2 main pillars. So the first one is that we try to increase the flexibility of robotic solutions by the use of AI. That is, I guess, what many of us are doing right now. AI is somehow a hype. Nevertheless, for me, it's not a hype. It's not a revolution, it's an evolution. I started working with support vector machines 25 years ago. So the algorithms we used 25 years ago are still the algorithms we use today. But nevertheless, there are a lot of achievements in AI and implementation in robotics. And that is what we want to foster with that project. So also broadening the range of application in robotic systems by the use of AI. And there's the second pillar is that we want to install close collaborations between users, system integrators, between IT vendors and manufacturers of robotic components or robots like we are doing, and realize new business models for and with the use of AI. And that is the combination we try to realize within that project. And mainly to accelerate design and commissioning of robotic solutions and unlocking new market potentials through value-added digital services, like you name it already. Digital services is that what we have to take care about. So that is the structure of our project, and we find in the middle, we find one very important point of this project, because what we have to realize are a lot of different use cases where AI is really fostering robotic solutions. And those use cases are located in loading and unloading trucks, for example. I will explain later on more in detail. And picking and kitting applications. We will see AI used in production systems or in commissioning phases. And what we are doing is we are creating a lot of different use cases where AI is used in combination with robotics. And when we talk about digital ecosystem, I will explain later on what that means. We also have to take care about the integration into application environments and the integration into development environments. But let's first start with the consortium itself. So what you see here, we have robotic vendors like ABB, but also new players on the market like Yardstick Robotics. We see a lot of component suppliers like Schunk, for example. We see integrators, RoboMotion, Roboception, and lots of more. And we also see companies using robotics in their applications, in their production facilities, like Mercedes, for example, but also in other branches, like in chemical plants, like Wacker Chemie is doing. So we have the possibility to create a lot of use cases in several branches with several purposes. And in addition, we have a lot of institutes taking care of AI developments, so universities and research institutes in Germany. And furthermore, if we talk about creating an ecosystem, a digital ecosystem, we need someone taking care about the technical background. In this case, that is T-Systems, providing the infrastructure for an ecosystem. And Patrick was already mentioned. In this case, the VDMA is responsible for transfer of the results, for the outreach of the project, and that helps a lot of distributing all the technology we develop to other companies. So let me introduce some of those use cases that you get a feeling what we are working on right now, because that was what we did in the first year of the project, creating use cases and realizing use cases by the use of AI. First of all, for example, loading and unloading pallets on trucks. We use autonomous mobile robots. ABB, for example, is providing autonomous forklifts and mobile robots for those challenges. And the challenge, you know, it's moving pallets in very confined workspaces, and that requires a lot of technology, not only safety because we have human operators in between, but also a lot of vision technology. And here AI could be a game changer to really work in such unstructured environments. Then we are talking about pallet handling in warehouses and the production with autonomous forklifts. We talk about also outdoor logistics, so indoor operation by 3D mapping, going outdoor in very unstructured environments, like we can see in, like we can see here in this video. So very unstructured environments where it helps to use AI, like we know from autonomous driving and other examples. Next use case is picking, packing, palletizing in warehouses. Here we also know the challenges we have. We have a lot of different goods. We have a lot of different packages, so huge variety, like you know from Amazon warehouses, for example. And the package identification, the post-estimation is a challenge. The grasp planning, the planning for the robot movements or path planning for the robots, collision-free for sure. That is very, very important to realize, and also realize the compact packing pattern of the objects we have to pack. And here also, and that is some of you may have experience in that case, here we also can make use of AI in combination with vision systems. We have that with bin picking solutions already in place, and here we can do lots of more with the use of AI. Furthermore, kitting in production. So here is the goal to establish a generic robotic picking solution for a lot of different parts, so somehow connected to the previous use case. And furthermore, taking care about a challenge we all have in production, and that is the challenge of high mix, low volume. So dealing with that, we can also use artificial intelligence to be very flexible and reconfigure our automation cells with the use of AI. Another example is the development of new devices. Here is the development of the Fraunhofer Institute, developing a new logistic robot for the handling of boxes and transport of boxes in logistics. So very lean device, very smart device. And the movement of that device, for sure, it's only possible using machine learning approaches to realize a perfect movement through the factory. So that is one idea. We have other ideas, like we see here, first prototype we developed, and in this project we're developing a mobile device, robot on top, for certain use cases, a very unique machine. We will use it in laboratory environments, for example, or in healthcare, And here we used the robot also in unstructured environments because the laboratory was designed for human operators working in that laboratory, and they still will work in that laboratory. And now we have that combination, robots taking over the night shift, robots taking over parts of the work in those laboratories. And therefore, we again need path planning algorithms, we need safety features, and we need detection of all those probes and different containers we have to handle. And here again, AI, especially machine learning, helps a lot to realize those practical examples. Other examples we have is using AI to reduce cost during commissioning phases. Our research center, for example, is working on creating documentation automatically by all the manuals we have, and here large language models, so another kind of AI, will help us to realize automatic providing of user manuals of documentation for robotic cells, and that is all we want to do automatically. Also safety features, so safety configuration of robot cells. We're working on that with large language models to create at least a setup or a suggestion for a safe setup of a robotic cell. And here we also use AI for that. So a lot of examples what we are working on in that huge consortium, and all of our partners have at least some competence to fulfill the one or the other case. But why are we doing that? That is the question, because now we have to take about that digital ecosystem. The main idea is that we have at least a critical mass of applications and therefore of AI solutions we can then provide for our digital ecosystem. So we need a lot of implementations that other companies, that you are willing and interested in using that digital ecosystem to find your AI solution you need for your production. And therefore, our start was create a lot of examples, create a lot of software components, AI-based in robotics, and then generalize that and create generic software components, define software assets, and then provide those software assets within a cloud infrastructure where you can take over those assets and use it for your purpose. That is the main idea. And the ecosystem itself, it's well known. It's the ecosystem of manufacturers of robotic components, system integrators building up robotic cells, the end users like automotive industry, and we have to add then the value-added services, so enable service providers to offer AI solutions and enable us to take over those AI solutions and easily integrate those solutions in our production facilities. That is the main idea. The approach we use here is DevOps for the development, but the main idea is that we have providers providing those assets I explained already. We have connectors taking care how to connect to the ecosystem, how to provide the digital representation of your AI functionality. We also have to add a policy for that so that we take care of data sovereignty, for example, to manage data security in that case and build up a business model which can be used by all of those companies. And on the other hand side, then you have the end user using those assets in their specific application, so consume those specific assets in their applications, and therefore we provide the list of assets we have in our ecosystem. We provide the asset configuration, the connectivity, so how to integrate that in your software developments and how to use it. And therefore we define a kit, and that kit, keep it together, means manage and share the data, download or give a download possibility for the AI models for your developments, then deploy software on edge devices. That is why T-Systems is within that project. Monitor, for example, data via cloud-based apps, for example, and also the governance and ownership of those digital assets has to be clarified, has to be make sure that no data will go to participants which are not allowed to see that data or to receive that data. So we have three dimensions we take care of. The first one is the business dimension, define a shared ecosystem vision and joint value proposition. Next one is the partnering dimension with other companies, establish a collective sense of ownership and clear roles. And then the technology dimension, enable the interplay between partners and the systems. And the benefit of that digital ecosystem shall be that we have a built-in data governance and sovereignty to make use of all the data which is provided in that system. So what we want to realize, and that is the main idea, to make us a little bit independent from developments from the US, for example, or from Asian countries, that we have a system where we have ultimate authenticity and trust, where we have data protection which is really in line with European standards, that we can really rely on that, what is happening with our data, and that it's really in line with European standards. So have transparency, openness, and modularity, usability, interoperability, that are the key words we have to take care of here. And for that reason, the project is within a special program. It's funded in the IPSAI-SIS program of the European Union. IPSAI-SIS is a central initiative of Europe where around 100 companies are involved, working on the first multi-provider cloud edge continuum. That is the main purpose of this IPSAI-SIS fundings, and our project was integrated in this network because we can, of course, take over a lot of developments, helping us to realize such an infrastructure, and also take care of how to integrate that into a European network and how to cooperate with European partners. So therefore, we also have a huge network now established with European partners where we realized that ecosystem. Okay, that was the short introduction of what we are planning to do and what we already have achieved. And after creating all those use cases we have seen, now we're taking care of how to create that ecosystem, what to do, that we will have a real interchange, and that companies are interested in joining that network and also using AI developments we are developing right now in that consortium. So then I'm at the end of my presentation. Thanks a lot for your attention, and for sure I'm open for questions now.
Thank you, Bernd. Great insights, and it's going to be the buzzword of our event, probably. AI, use of AI, not just a tool, but a game changer. That's what we're going to expect. Quick question from the audience. Anybody here who wants to raise first question in the room? No, not yet. Then I have one for you, Bernd. Yeah. I mean, preparing something is one story, but delivering it is another. What's the most raised question you get from your peers, the people you work together with, from customers?
Yeah, that's funny. That exactly is the question. When can you deliver? So the question is how to join that consortium, how to participate, and how to make use of the developments we have right now. And that is what we are preparing right now, and that is what we will offer beginning of next year. We are preparing so-called starter kits, and with those starter kits you can participate in that ecosystem, and you can just try out AI algorithms which are in that ecosystem, which we already installed. You can see what we realized, what application we realized with that, and you also get information how to use it, how to integrate it, for example, in your software components. Mm-hmm. And that is what we will deliver beginning of next year, and then it's interesting, I hope interesting for a larger community just to look into that topic and just to try out, get your own experience, and then hopefully join the consortium and contribute. Okay. Because that is our main issue, is how to expand that network and how to make it fly. Yeah,
definitely. And working in ecosystems is another thing we all kind of aim for. Now, when we talk about beginning of next year, is that in 7 weeks, or is that more a Hannover Messe April thing?
Yeah, we will be present on the Hannover Trade Fair, and of course there we will have our own booth.
Definitely.
And there we will present how that works. Yes.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Bernd.
You're welcome.
Big round of applause once more.